Hi, I'm Chuck Dorsett for Weaver Leathercraft, and this is the Leather Element. If you've got a good question for us or a good idea for a leather element, drop it in the comment box below. We're going to decorate our borders. Now, we could always drop in a line of spots or a border stamp. No, let's go full on creative here. We're going to use some round end punches and some English point punches. We typically have these in our shop, so it's a great way to go. Now on this, we're just scratching the surface. So take this ball and run with it. Last point, I would love to have a project for every one of these samples so we can all see where it's going to work best. Just not enough time in the day to make everything I want to make out of leather, and I hope you feel the same way. So let's step over here. We're going to start easy. With our smallest English point or round end punch, we can always do a scalloped edge. In fact, there's the round end and the English. That's at 3/8 of an inch. So we can always do a very cool scalloped edge. Now, on a side note, we're thinking pouch flap, but there's so many other directions we can go with this. Say we've got a project with no flap. We can always decorate around the throat, or say our leggings. Can't wait to step over there. Got a cool design there. But also, chaps, say a yoke on our chaps. All kinds of ways we can go with these designs. Now with this, it's as simple as this. This is a 7/8. I'm just going to use a larger punch just to get the idea. So with this, I'm going to take my pinky. I'm going to put it right at the back of my cutting edge. So therefore, I can feel the edge of my leather. Let's punch that. Good. Now, let's drop this corner of the tool in. Let's see if we can feel that edge. There we go. Let's just move along. And let's do one more. So there we go. How easy is that? Easy to create. Now, let's step up with that. Say we jump over to some veg tan. Drop in a stamp in each one of our English points. Maybe that actually matches the shape of the point. Now, every video has a fail. Well, right there's my fail. Looks pretty cool. We've got kind of a camo in there, a mule's foot. But you know what? When we think about it, that actually just looks like a foot. So yeah, once in a while we have a fail. But other than that, some cool ideas. All right, let's take this and step it up. We have sizes in our end punches and round punches from 3/8 of an inch all the way up to 2 inches. So we can pick a punch that's proportional to the project. I'm just going a little bit larger here to get the idea. So there's our flap or our border. Let's drop in some of our reptile behind that. That looks pretty cool. Or maybe let's offset that. Now that's an out-of-the-box look. It's going to be a gorgeous border. Same idea over here. We're using 2 colors. So let's drop in a red behind a black. Get that close so it's a detail, or bring that further back so it's completely obvious. Right here, we're going to jump up to 3 levels. So we've got our flap, we've got an inlay color, and our backing color. That looks pretty good. Now, that's going to start to stack up. So maybe for the throat on a project, not so much. But for a flap, that's actually going to add some extra weight to that flap. That's a cool touch. Now let's go from simple to complicated. So right here, we're just using the English point, but I've dropped in spots. That's a nice border. Very old school, very classic. Okay, let's step this up. Let's use multiple punches. So we've got an English point and 3 descending size round holes, 2 descending size spots. That's cool. In fact, on our lace-up leggings, I can't wait to add that in as a flap. Now, I finally do have a sample. Yay! So this is from our quiver video. Same design, but notice now, I can see that black showing through my flap. That's a nice detail. Now, thus far, we just talked about borders, but we can always go with corners. Add some kind of a cool little design with our English point or round end. That's a nice touch for a corner. We can hand cut. This is a little bit more difficult, but we can always hand cut a border. Take a piece of pattern paper, bend that over so it's symmetrical, cut half of our design, lay that in, and then hand cut from there. Again, a little bit more difficult, but how cool is that? All right, let's step over to what I consider the most creative of all of these. So here we're building on using combinations of our punches. So right here, a smaller English point, but a larger round hole. Got kind of a picket fence feel to that. And I like this. English point, but with a round hole to punch off that point. It's a jagged edge, but there's some consistency to it. So that looks pretty good. Okay, step that up. let's use an English point, smaller point, and then a round end punch to create a hole there. All right, one more, and this is cool. So let's step that up. We've got an outside English point 1 inch, inside English point 5/8 inch, and then I'm going to use a 5/16 inch round punch. That's going to make a heart. Well, that looks pretty cool. But let's do this. Let's drop some red in behind that. With that, that border just pops. And is that not a creative, gorgeous border? And again, we're just scratching the surface here. There is no end to the possibilities here. In fact, we've kind of gotten an idea of that. So grab a piece of scrap, pick up whatever punches you have in your shop, sit down and get creative. There's no telling what you're going to come up with. I hope this is good information for you. Thanks for taking time to watch The Leather Element. Good luck with your projects.